Hello and welcome to the TSI AFL studios. Nat Edwards and Robert Walls with you. Well, it seems as though Essendon has played Collingwood forward Travis Cloke into form, and history does tell us that Cloke tends to produce his best performances against the Bombers. Robert, shall we look at some of the stats?
If you're a Collingwood supporter, you would be delighted with Travis Cloke's performance against Essendon. I reckon there's a few reasons why he played particularly well. The main reason is that there was no Chris Dawes, and that meant that Travis Cloke was able to just cover so much more ground. I reckon the last year or two Cloke's played closer back to goal, more as a full forward than a centre half forward. Without Dawes, he had to push up and present, and he had probably his best game of the season. So let's have a look at a few facts and figures. In that game against the Bombers, Cloke had 20 kicks. His average up until that game was 9.9. In that game, he had 16 marks, which was a career high. His average number of marks leading up to that game was 5.7, so a massive increase there. He kicked 5 goals in the game. His average was 2.1. Now, Travis Cloke had 7 inside 50s against Essendon. That means he had to push up to the wings, he had to push up to the centre of the ground, turn around and kick the ball long into the forward line. His average for the season leading up to that was 3.6.
What about the ruck situation at Collingwood? You had Nick Maxwell, who spent some time in the ruck on the weekend. Do they look at bringing back Chris Dawes, or is it a Cameron Wood that's the solution?
I'm sure they will not go with Nick Maxwell as support ruckman for Darren Jolly. Do they bring Cam Wood back into the team and basically have him play off the bench? Maybe it's even Dawes who comes into the team strictly as a bench player and then into the ruck, not play Dawes in the forward line. So who takes his place in the forward line? I reckon it's Andrew Cracker, who played last week. Alan Didak came on and played particularly well. If you have a look at Collingwood's goal-kicking list this year, Cloke leads it with 50 goals. It then drops to Beams and Fasolo with 27. And then you've got Dane Swan and Goldsack with 22. Daisy Thomas has kicked 19. So Collingwood really only rely on one big fella to kick their goals. Dawes played 20 games this year, only kicked the 14 goals. I'm sure they'll go with Cracker and Didak as the medium-sized forwards.
Thank you very much for joining us on TSI AFL. Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.